Okay, this is the panel of elders. I'm the elder, and the less elders meeting to decide who won our caption contest. And we do it without fear or favor, right?
That's correct.
And
Yeah.
we
Right.
don't and we don't look, and we don't, well, we haven't yet taken any money.
Yes, every entry is exported only with a timestamp. It's a canned export. We don't see any entries. It gets routed to all of us, and we do not see each other's picks until they're all compiled until right now. And we will
Okay,
now.
so let's get to it. So can we even share the image? I mean, is it possible to do that
Yeah,
here
absolutely.
for the people, or is it not for the people
No,
who
I
be
can.
seeing?
I think people. Yeah, absolutely. We can. Let's first share Avi's cartoon. We have an Avi Steinberg. Avi cannot join us today because he is actually a teacher and he is working uh, during the day here. And he is. I will now share the current contest. Um, okay, let me actually share it as a Photoshop. um,
Right now, we've already lost, like, we had an audience of 6, now
yeah.
we're down to 2.
Well, we all know what it is, but I was not prepared to share it here with everybody.
Okay, so let's move. Well, we'll keep talking while. So, so this is the way we do it. Yeah, very nice.
Okay,
Got a
here's the
lovely
Avi.
little picture, right?
So, yeah.
Lovely. Uh, I
So
got
this.
a little confused looking at it. The brim of the hat fooled me a little bit. I mean, didn't fool me, but I said, "Is that his arms or what?" But I realized it's just the brim of the hat. And so we got a rabbit who popped out of his hat by himself.
Yeah. You
How
assume
is that possible?
you assume something bad happened to the magician because that rabbit looks a little concerned, and then the magic wand is on the floor.
Yeah, and so Lawrence, who has won the caption contest, I was going to say innumerable times, but we can numerate it. And is we all judge this together, and we have our criteria,
Mhm.
right? And now we've all looked at our different entries, which we come upon independently,
Mhm.
and then we do this process so we can look at it, all of them, weed it out, come to consensus, and pick the wrong one.
Yeah. So generally, we this is not the final decision.
I don't know. Are they? They're not going to be able to even see those.
No, but this is. I mean, this is how we do it.
Okay, it's just
Yeah.
so.
So I generally the way we start is we historically start with what ones have appeared across all of ours. We're multiple. This is not necessarily how the winner is chosen, but we start generally by reading off which ones have appeared in multiple of our lists. So as I pull them out, the first one that appeared is "Bear with Me." I've never done this myself,
That appears in all of them.
and two of ours.
Two at least. Yeah.
Yep. He's Nothing Without Me. Very similar cartoon joke
Yeah.
appears
Yeah.
twice. I Regret Splitting Up the Act appears
I,
twice.
yeah. I didn't even see that one.
Here is one that appears 4 times and is arguably the most entered one we've ever gotten. If this one does make the finals, we will need to look at the timestamp.
Which one is that?
Is there a detective in the house? Is there? Oh no! Is there a magician or a detective in the house of each
So,
appearance?
is there a magician in the house? Occurred so many times
Yes.
that I didn't pick it. Although when I first saw it, I certainly liked it. I
Yeah.
mean, it does. It's the kind of thing Lawrence and I have talked about where it's the thing that when it pops up, you think, oh yeah, that that makes complete sense. And it's the other thing where people say, well, anybody would have thought of that, and not anybody, but quite a few. I didn't put it in my list because I sort of dinged it a little bit because it occurred so often.
Mhm.
And then I went with, is there a detective? Because that's like that, right? I mean, was there a lot of detective ones? No, right?
I'll have to double check this timestamp just because it was so similar, but I do think there was only one off the top of my head.
Right. So, I mean, when we judge these things, we don't judge them in the same way that someone just looks at a single caption in a magazine. Because, and just as the contest is its own thing, which can't be judged completely as a normal cartoon, the other part, how the reaction to it that we do to award the prize, is also its own thing. You know what I mean? It's within the context of, oh, when a lot of people come up with the same one, I value it a little bit less, right?
Yeah.
Just a little bit less. When that basic idea with a little switch is they're a detective, which to me, I then like more because it's a little bit unusual, and that because my particular taste is, oh, it makes you go another level.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it also surprises you, and that makes for a successful
right.
Cap.
That I mean, I didn't read it right the first time.
Right. So it surprises you, and it's the same joke in a way. He's looking for the magician, or I mean, the magician is missing. How can he be? He needs to be replaced either by someone in the audience, so it is difference, or by a detective going out to find the magician. And my particular taste is, oh, that's a couple of leaps of thought that would, if you ask someone, or because of my interest in AI, let's say if I went up to ChatGPT, the new thing, okay, and I ask, how does this caption make sense? Is that, there's the creature there, where's he's looking for the magician. But if I say the other thing, which is there a detective in the house, how do you explain it? You got to go a whole other step, right?
Yeah.
He wants the detective to find his magician.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little bit better for me.
No, I agree. It's like, what's the old adage? Like you get your kite stuck in the tree, and then you throw the ball in the tree. The ball then gets stuck in the tree, and then you have to, you are adding to the problems of,
Why would you even want to fly a kite? I never even understood that.
But it does. It does have a change.
No, actually, I think flying a kite was just something that would remind me that I really can almost do no practical thing.
It's very easy if it's windy, Bob. So I think you'd like it if it's windy.
When's the last time you flew a kite?
I have a daughter. I fly kites pretty often, actually.
Why do they say? This is a question for Lawrence. Why do they say when they want to brush someone off and they don't want them to bother you anymore, you say, "Go fly a kite"?
I don't know the derivation.
I don't know.
All right. Well,
all right. So regarding what you said, though, Bob, I think that does come into play because I would agree with you when we start cutting these out. I would pick the detective one as well.
Yeah, just want to add an extra story. Yeah, it adds a story, doesn't it? There's more of a story there. You kind of, your brain starts working out what the story is, and that's just more intriguing to you. Your brain latches onto it better, I think.
Right.
So the next one we all share is the real trick is getting him to finish what he started. Two of us chose that. The next one, three of us picked the student has become the master. Two of us then picked
that's one of those things which solves the problem, right? But isn't actually funny.
Yeah, I agree with that. It hits.
I don't know. You admire it. Or maybe because Lawrence, you've talked to this about before. It's like you're taking some other phrase and finding a place for it.
Yeah,
and you're transforming. Right, you're transforming a common phrase or an ordinary statement.
And you get points for it.
Yeah,
but we don't really feel that's the best kind of caption. Even though it's good, you were able to do it. It's sort of it's not creation, it's a kind of sorting. Whereas when you come up with it, you've come up with the caption, and here you found the right one and that happens in the New Yorker caption contest. So I did think it was good, but it's more like, yeah.
Additionally, I would ding it too because it's kind of a proud expression where the rabbit does look a little concerned in the cartoon.
Yeah.
So then we have.
Although it's an example of transforming a common statement or expression into a caption. It's not the best one because sometimes when people do that, it really works and it is funny. And this one is just clever but not funny.
It's clever, and also it's different from all the others. So, all of these things that we combine, that we give, we're judges, that we don't have an absolute formal system, and we should have a very complicated formal system where we should have an algorithm where we put our points in for each one, and then we will have the algorithm decide based on the points we put in. So you get some sort of credit for finding the thing, but it's not quite as good as such and such. But so I would think that's one of them that should go in.
We'll move here quick. The next one. Then after college, I joined the Navy. Wait, I think I hear him coming.
That is, I have to say, that is my.
Wait.
I really like this one.
Go ahead, Lawrence.
I don't even understand that. Then after,
because he's just drawing. He's waiting. He's
got to kill time.
Yeah, he's cutting time.
Yeah, the magician's late. He's trying to keep the audience engaged. I think it's brilliant. And I will
that's great.
Trying to keep everyone in their seats.
Right. This is by far. This is by far the best.
That's great. I didn't.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was actually laughing.
I didn't see it, and now that you're saying it, it's like one of those things. Since it's like when they give you like one of these creativity problems where you somehow have to, you have a candle and tacks, and somehow you have to put the thing on the wall so that using all the three things, and somehow you never think that, you can use the candle to. So it's called functional fixedness in psychology, where so I was so functionally fixated on the actual thing, that this whole other thing that he's got to explain why that he's vamping for time. Yeah, that's brilliant.
Oh yeah, it absolutely is. This is one of the best captions I've ever seen.
Whoa.
Well, that's great.
If this doesn't win now, Lawrence, it's not going to go well.
I'm giving my personal opinion. I'm happy to be alone in this, but
no.
I picked it too, Lawrence. Don't worry.
Now that I think what's so great about it is that there's often a delay when there's a good joke where it takes you a little bit while to put it together. And here, for me, it was like, what? And then, but usually what's different here is usually when people explain it, it's not funny to you. Now I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, the little bunny buying time. So, all right, then I did not pick that. Sometimes the length of them turns me off, but I did. It is a great caption here. And then the last one, it's probably the strangest one that was in a couple of ours, was "Welcome to my very special performance of the vagina monologues."
It's very funny. It's very funny. So I think we should put that into because, for instance, I guess one of the things is these are things that we know would never be in the New Yorker contest because everything is very, very ordinary here. And here we see, in both of those, we see something that I would say an actual comedian might do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Be actual, a whole comic kind of energy, which is nothing wrong with solving the problem. In fact, you have to, if there wasn't the basis of solving the problem, these wouldn't be funny at all. If all of them were like that, right, they wouldn't be funny. So they do gain by the contrast of, okay, this is, but maybe we don't have to put in the vagina because maybe we have that. Maybe we shouldn't put two in like that, right?
Well, let's.
Lawrence can talk about it.
The other one that we just discussed, the long one that's very surprising, really makes sense within the context of the drawing. It really adds to it. completely consistent with what's going on in stage.
You're right. The other one is just absurd. The
The
vagina
other
monologue.
one's just absurd, and you just laugh because it's so ridiculous.
Right, and that's interesting. Is I'm sure when we all experienced that, we did laugh.
Oh yeah,
And
oh, sure.
partly it's the topic a little bit moving the vagina monologues anywhere out of its usual frame of reference is going to be an easy way to get a joke.
No, I mean the title's funny. It does have. I mean the play has like some consensual versus unconsensual sex stuff. I mean it has lots of mutilations. It can be dark and funny too. It's an interest. I mean it's the word vagina kind of makes you laugh, but the play itself is kind of weird for the joke.
Yeah,
It's funny for me. It was monologue.
Monologues is always a
Monologue.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to do one decision here. I'm just going to take out, is there a magician in the house right away? Because if it's between detective.
Yeah, no, I mean, you know what? On the one hand, it's obviously good.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say or it's good enough. I would say if someone looked at that as an ordinary cartoon, they would smile. You know what I mean? It would make sense. It would be a joke,
So we're at 8 here. The next step generally is we try to get this 8 to 6, and then we kind of fight for any that we had in our particular lists.
Yeah.
Let's do the fighting first because I've got.
Okay. Perfect. Joel,
okay.
what do you want?
My fight. I don't know why I'm fighting because I love the vagina monologues and I love the then after. I think those are my two favorites. So I'm fighting for anything, but I will fight for Oops, Let Me Try This Again just because it's it does the job. It tells a little story. You're just joining after the events. And I have a soft spot for that kind of thing. And I also quite like I Need a Volunteer from the Audience with a Cozy Home. Again, does the same thing. You're just joining after the story, after something has happened. And yeah, so I put something in for those, but I'm getting a lukewarm reception from the rest of the group, so I won't fight hard.
Let Me Try It Again works for me as well. I like that one.
I mean, I definitely like a sort of detective in the house. I guess we're agreed on that sort of.
Yeah.
And as a wordplay, I'm still learning the tropes. So, but
what? Yeah. Well, okay. Oops. Let me try this again. We'll keep that in our back pocket. Bob, do you have any that we didn't discuss that you have in your list?
Let me say I have. Stay tuned for the comeback tour. Rabbits can also subtract. I mean, none of those did I really think were great. I mean, I did like the detective one.
Okay.
I don't have any.
No, that's one of our 8. So
yeah. So I'm okay. So where are we now with what we?
Well, yeah. We're just kind of going through any we'd like to fight for. For me,
it's Lawrence. Oh, go on.
Oh, sorry. For me, the only one I liked was Looks Like I'll Need 2 volunteers. Because obviously something went wrong with the that's another one.
Yeah, I like that.
It tells a little bit of a story that something happened obviously with the first volunteer. That there is a problem.
Well, what happened to the first? I mean, I understand why the magician is missing.
Well, it's just
he needs a volunteer just to get him out of the hat. I don't understand why he needs 2 volunteers.
Well, it's just.
I would go with the simple. May I have a volunteer from the audience? That's what he needs.
Yeah, I think for me,
also that is the natural line for the magician, and that he needs a volunteer to get him out of the hat. The magician should be able to do that.
Before that, he didn't need a volunteer. There wouldn't have been a volunteer on stage. He only needs a volunteer because something happened to the magician.
Okay, I hear that. For me,
you think he needs the volunteer to find the magician?
For me, I liked it because I thought things were so off the rails that everyone was getting lost. And first the magician.
Well, to me, 2 volunteers it confuses me. I'm not sure why.
Gotcha.
Then, I prefer the 2 volunteers. I think because you normally say I'd like a volunteer from the audience. So now you've got an extra problem. So now you've got a magician missing, and you still need a volunteer. So you've got to double up. That's how I see it.
I do see why it's a little awkward. The other one that made me laugh too is when he comes out, nobody clap, but I think that's for my personal life. We always do things like that. When someone leaves the room, they come back in, we're always looking up at the ceiling, or just, in my social life, we personally mess with people that way.
Okay, which one? I'm
When he comes out, nobody clap. But that's
when he comes out, nobody clap.
Yeah, it's just a silly joke. It's like when someone hits a home run, let's not give him a high five. It's like that kind
Actually, I would add that to the list. I think that is quite good.
I do like it, but why is the magician's wand on the stage?
Yeah, and why does the bunny look worried too?
Yeah.
It doesn't address why the bunny's worried. Something clearly went wrong with the magician. It doesn't.
But that would be true. That's true for the vagina monologues as well, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
I don't think that one's gonna make. We'll see if that one makes it. Okay, well, those were my two. Lawrence, do you have any?
So which one? So we have the winner, right?
Well, I just want to see if Larry has any that he wants to fight for, and then we'll go through our 8.
I do. As far as the volunteers, I'll need a volunteer from the audience. It's clean. It's nice.
Yeah, I want that. Too. Yeah, I think.
I liked perhaps the heckler can pull me out because it explains why the magician's no longer there. There was a heckler. The magician got offended. He walked off. So the bunny's now saying, well, you're the reason I'm stuck. How about you come up on stage and help me?
I don't think people are smart enough to understand that. And by that I mean me. So I don't know.
The heckler one is a lot happened.
Yeah, I guess the advantage we have here is that Lawrence writes the summary, so he can explain it.
That's true. I can put it in the summary. The other one that I wanted to fight for because I like dark jokes is I was cleaning it and it just went off.
Yeah.
There was a shotgun blast and it blew the
isn't there another one with that's dark with I can't get out. He sawed my foot off.
Yeah.
There was rabbits.
Why did he do that? Did he do that because a rabbit's foot is good luck?
Yeah. I think
there was something else about the rabbit actually being sawed in half.
Yeah.
Right. There's another one
where you're combining the two magician's tricks, but
yeah.
But it didn't make my top 10.
No, I don't really laugh at those. I mean, not because they're mean, but I mean, I personally think we have 8 or 10, so we have to whittle to 6. I think.
Okay, so let's whittle, but blow it up. I can't see them.
Okay, hold on a second.
While you're blowing it, can I give an honourable mention to one that I didn't like but sort of liked, and I liked it because it was a good idea, which was where's the knucklehead that missed all the flash photography signs? There's a joke there, but knucklehead ruins it. If it had been something else about flash photography, there's a flash photography joke there.
Joke, so you weren't allowed to do flash photography.
Yeah, something's happened to the magician. It's never explained why you can't do flash photography, and suddenly you've got an explanation. The magician disappears. So there's a joke there, but the knucklehead.
That's complicated though.
Yeah.
The magician disappeared.
All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got to get these down to 6 and then pick a winner. So let's first try to knock out 3.
I think we want knock out 3.
Yeah.
Well, 2 and 3 are the same joke, aren't they? Really? So one of those can go.
Bear with me. I've never done this myself, and he's nothing without me. I prefer bear with me more.
No, I meant he's nothing without me, and I regret splitting the act. Those 2 are the same joke, aren't they? Sort of.
Well, I mean, let's keep that. That's just sort of the verbal thing, right? He's nothing without me. But in short, bear with me. I've never done this by myself. I don't know.
Yeah, he's nothing without me is.
I don't like that one.
I don't like that one either. Yeah.
All right, that just.
Sorry. It doesn't make me laugh, and the bunny's too worried looking.
All right, very good.
Get fired tomorrow.
Very good. Just go do it yourself. What do you need me for?
Start looking for a job now.
I got a big studio here to sulk in.
Okay, so I think we're definitely keeping as a detective in the house.
Right.
We're definitely
I'll need a volunteer from the audience. We're gonna keep.
We're definitely keeping that one.
Yeah.
We're definitely keeping. Then after college, I joined the Navy. Just Lawrence can't have.
I like the student has become the master.
The student's become the.
I don't like the real trick is to get him to finish what he started. I don't know. I don't like that.
I can go. I'm not
I agree only because there's nothing that really makes me more than smirk for that. So
yeah. Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's get rid of one more. Maybe the vagina monologues is one. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe the vagina because we already have the actual one that has that feel or form of just being completely different.
Yeah, I hear him coming. All right, so we now have our 6.
All right, I'm happy with those 6. I just want to say, because I just think it's interesting, and I can address this in the commentary. I think "Is There a Magician in the House" is actually a better caption, and I think it's suffering just because it wasn't surprising, especially after we saw it so many times. But I think it is a better.
You know what? I think that's a good point. That's a good point, and it's really related to what happens in the New Yorker caption contest, also, in which there are many, and then a couple of things happening. We're judging, and so we should be influenced somewhat by this, but not so much influenced that we deny the audience who doesn't know it the pleasure of seeing. So let's do that.
Over detective.
No, I want detective. I don't care if they're two things.
Then we have to knock another out. I regret.
You're talking about putting both in, Bob? Both magicians?
Yeah, I thought Lawrence was talking.
I like both. We like one. I mean, I think you can mention in your commentary this was very, very common, and the other one also it is also good but different.
Well,
right, but I think we should only have one in our list of 6.
Well, then I'm gonna go for the detective.
That's fine. That's fine. As I
then
said,
I'm going to go for I am going to go for the detective in that I would have picked that. I mean, let's say when I was back at the New Yorker picking them, and if I would end up picking it, I would have picked that one. You know what I mean? Because I do like I think the other one is actually good. But then you could also say when we pick 5, or 6, or when we narrow it down, these are the kinds of decisions. So often a very good caption. Right. Better than maybe even some of the other caption we pick gets eliminated. Because
I think that's a fine thing. I think that's a fine thing to address in the commentary.
Yeah, and Lawrence, I'm going to look up who was the first one to write "Is There a Magician in the House?" just so you can maybe give that person a shout out, because whoever is first should get some credit. Because a lot of people gave it, but only.
I think we should do whatever is first that we give a shout out, and forever is second we don't name them, but we say eat your heart out.
Yes.
Trevor, could you? I can't quite see because it's so small on my screen.
Oh,
could you just read now what are the 6 captions?
Yeah,
just make it bigger.
I already did. I'll make it even bigger. Here we go.
You're dealing with old people here, Trevor.
I hear you. All right, here you go.
Well,
200%.
Now that's too big.
Okay.
I think you're allowed to swear in this, Trevor. That's fine. Go for it.
All right. Well, do you guys want to? Should we look at a winner, or do you want to take a break and see what Avi did?
Yeah. Let's see what Avi did.
So Avi's caption was, "Folks, did he by any chance say when he would reappear?"
All right.
Yeah.
It's a little clunky.
Yeah, the capital this is how he sent it to me, so I did think he capital.
Well, also
reappear.
Well, why is it REA capitalized?
Is how I received it. I don't know if it's a formatting thing from Avi, but that's how it was I received it. So I think maybe if he's saying it folks, did he by any chance say when he would reappear? I don't know why it's capitalized, but that's
yeah.
Be italicized.
yeah.
By the way, it would be a great trick.
Yeah.
Just David Copperfield, if you happen to be watching this.
So the final six.
Or Blaine. It's more like a David Blaine thing.
I regret splitting up the act. Is there a detective in the house? I'll need a volunteer from the audience. Bear with me. I've never done this myself. The student has become the master. Then, after college, I joined the Navy. Wait, I think I hear him coming. We're only picking one now, and we'll be all set. So
my top two, if it helps anyone else, is Bear With Me, I've Never Done This by Myself, and Then After College. Those are my two favourites. Anyone got any vote? Well, we know what Lawrence's favourite is. He's made it very clear.
I've said enough on the subject.
I like. Is there a detective in the house, and then the one where he's vamping for time is great. It almost can't be evaluated in the same. It's really apples and oranges, so they're so different. But yeah, but it's a really good one, and surprising.
Yeah, both do make me laugh, which is the most important part. I would also probably think that the stalling for time one.
It looks like we got a winner then, by the sound of it.
Is that a winner? Let me put it on the caption here. We can look at it as a high res, and then let's quickly review the vote.
Let's vote, because this is it. You see, we're looking at the voting afterwards, and we don't, because we think it's interesting for you to see what the votes were, because it's just interesting. We don't use that because.
Did anyone want to guess what they think that's like the popular vote will be? I think it might be the magician one.
Yeah, I would.
The magician in the house.
Well, I don't know. It'll probably be who's voting, the people who are putting them in, right? Okay, so about 30 people put in the magician one. I would think that's going to easily dominate.
So here's our winner with it on the card.
It's a lovely drawing.
That is really good.
Yeah.
That does work.
I mean, it's just lovely, and yeah.
Yeah. All right, so here are the votes. Let me share. Oh, wait. No, let's not share our financial just there. No.
That was a close.
All right. So we have, and again, there's a slight algorithm of combining the stars together. But number one is I'm gonna need a ride home.
Oh, it's all right. Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't even remember that.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, I saw it. It's okay.
Number two is the one I liked. Looks like I'll need 2 volunteers. Number 3, we are experiencing magical difficulties. And then here is there a magician in the house, which is repeated multiple times in the voting. And the next one is, and if anyone is interested in adopting a rabbit, please see me after the show. For my first trick, I will attempt to pull a tardy magician out of the cocktail lounge. That one I thought was all right. It was just a bit long.
Yeah.
And then we get weird. The only illusion here is freedom.
When I looked at that, I thought, "Oh, that's interesting."
Yeah.
Right.
But not funny, but it's sort of interesting. Made you think about.
So then after college, what number's that in? That's in the top.
Yeah, this one was in the top. Yeah, I would say in the top 15, top 10 if you remove all the magician in the houses. Then after,
okay,
so that's up there. This must be.
We are in step with popular thought.
Yeah,
and that's this must be why the Ducks quit, and that's by Nicole, who was won the.
And that was one of mine too. I did like that one.
That's by Nicole, who Lawrence has learned to love to hate.
I love Nicole. I know.
I've seen her name around. She's good. That's
how do you pronounce Nicole's last name? Do you know?
Krolovicious, I think.
Yeah, okay.
So the winner, I looked it up, is Michael Holmes.
I've
Has he
seen
won
his name
before?
before.
As
Oh,
he won our
Michael Holmes. I actually know this. Michael Holmes he was a finalist in the contest that had the cartoon of King Kong in the couples therapy.
Oh yeah,
in his-
yeah, yeah,
in
yeah.
his studio. And I think he might have. I think he might have won that contest. If not, he was definitely a finalist. So I remember his name from that.
Well, I think one of the things is we're not getting as many people as we want, but we're getting people who are pretty good at this. You know, when you consider, you know, I mean, it's, you know, I would say when we're looking at the winners of our contest, they could be as good. They could compete. Let me put it this way: in terms of the cartoon and what wins. Uh, Even though we don't have 5,000 people submitting, we're getting decent entries, I think, and good stuff. You know what I mean? I think good stuff.
we have
And so
yeah.
that is,
Interesting thing here looking up, I wanted to see who was the first person to write "Is there a magician in the house?" and it was Will Broderick. But 2 hours and 10 minutes after him was the next one. Is there a magician in the house? Identically put by Joseph Wiseman. I thought we weren't going to say the second guy's name, but so it's
No,
There's a third person. Well, they're the people.
it's 2 hours earlier. But yeah, I guess that wraps it up here. I'll stop recording and we'll hold on this.
okay, we'll stop the recording and we'll put it on. Do we have a channel? Okay, bye, Lawrence.